up, guys? Rob here today. We're going to be talking about WrestleMania 36, and I'm going to be giving my predictions. And before I start, I'd like to say that this meeting is going to be very interesting with the pandemic that's been going on across the world. And I personally think that the Mania happening is actually good, but I can understand why some people think it should have been canceled. I personally don't think it should have been canceled. I'm pretty happy it didn't, only because with whatever is going on right now, it's something to take everyone's mind off for at least a good weekend, and hopefully for a while, so people can't sit and think about how sad the world is right now. So that's my own opinion. You know, if you guys don't have that opinion, tell me what you think in the comments. It's all good. You know, just don't be a dick about it, I guess. But okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and get right into it. And this is also going to be a 2-day Mania, which is going to be pretty exciting. They have yet to announce what matches are on what days and the order of them. So I'm just basically going off of what I have found online. As long as we have all the matches, it doesn't say what matches in what order. It pretty much is going to go from least important to most. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And start off with the first match. And I personally think this is one of the more important ones to me. Only because as a bigger guy, I'm definitely going to be having a more of a personal interest in it. Only because it's been a very good story playing out with how they've done Otis. Definitely, like, I guess you would kind of say, not really though. It's like the, you know, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know, I'm rambling. But anyway, I do think in the end Otis does deserve this win. He does deserve to get Mandy. You know, because Dolph Ziggler, he's a pretty good heel. I imagine that it's going to be a pretty close one. There's probably going to be stuff between him and Mandy. Mandy's going to be choosing Otis' side in the end, to hope. I do know that they're trying to put Sonya in it, Sonya Deville into it. So I think that was the original plan before all of this stuff and before the whole certain rules happen to be on different things. But I'm pretty excited about it nonetheless. I think it'll be pretty entertaining. Otis is a very entertaining guy. Got a lot of charisma. You know, I'm definitely a personal fan of him. I've been a fan of him since NXT. Granted, he was just funny to watch, and, you know, definitely like a bigger version, I guess, of a Scotty 2 Hotty, but I think he's definitely got Scotty 2 Hotty beat when it comes to charisma and showmanship and all of that stuff. So, yeah, I believe Otis is going to get the win on this one, definitely. And also, before I continue, just so you guys know, I'm not basing all my decisions based off of dirt sheets and all the other sites and who they're saying is supposed to win. I'm basing everything off of who I think should win based off of the storyline altogether, or not a storyline, which we'll get into probably in this next match. So let's go ahead and continue. And the next match is going to be Elias versus King Corbin. Definitely a match to pad out on the Mania. Probably because I know Corbin definitely is probably going to be one of the top guys to, you know, wrestle no matter what. He seems like that type of stubborn dude to do it, just to prove himself. Not too sure if this match is actually going to happen, only because of what happened on SmackDown, where Corbin essentially, like a lot of people are saying, killed Elias. I don't know. I mean, it would be pretty nice to see Elias get another, you know, Mania thing, and that'd be cool if he came out on top, but I don't think so. I believe Corbin is probably going to win this if this match does happen. If it doesn't happen, I do think because they do have Gronk as the host and they have him and Mojo doing stuff. So I do think that Gronk or Mojo could get involved with Corbin if Elias does not wrestle him. So, I mean, that could be pretty fun. They're going to throw Gronk in there somehow. I mean, he's the host. You know, that last minute host thing to get all the attention onto Mania, which hopefully it helps because I'm definitely rooting for WWE in this Mania. So let's hope that hopefully this match can go on. If not, it's understandable. They're just, you know, they're literally throwing everything they can to make this Mania semi-entertaining. And I do believe, as we'll continue with this card for both nights, it definitely should be a good show. But yeah, so if this match does happen, Corbin's definitely going to get the win. They have too much into him, and Elias, he hasn't been doing much with Corbin. He's definitely been like semi-number one heel in the whole company. Granted, he hasn't really won a lot, but at the same time he hasn't won any championships besides the U.S. title and the King of the Ring. So we'll definitely see what happens. But yeah, if this match does happen, like I said, Corbin's got the win. If not, I do believe Mojo Rawley and Gronk will get involved with Corbin. So we'll go ahead and wait and see what happens. And then the next match up is, like I said, a very random match just to pad it out. Yeah, with this one, definitely nothing to it. I haven't really been watching any of the main shows. I just know all the stuff that happens after them. And I don't believe that for a second Bobby's going to win this, because they haven't really done anything with him since the Rusev feud, and they've been building Aleister up a lot. But like I said, I'm not basing anything off of what the dirt sheets say or anything like that. I'm just giving you guys some insight on what has been said. But definitely Aleister Black, that's definitely a shoe-in, because they got to do something with Aleister. He's been there for over a year now. Definitely hope to see him by SummerSlam if all of this stuff blows over. And hopefully stuff goes back to semi-normal, where we can get crowds again and regular shows and start putting things back on track with this. But I mean, I don't think anything of this match. I think Aleister's going to win pretty quickly. It'd be cool if they brought Rusev back to kind of, you know, get that last one into Bobby, because we haven't really seen Rusev in a while. So hopefully Rusev can maybe do something at the end, but I doubt it, especially with everything going on. But yeah, so I believe Aleister's going to win. Hopefully Lana leaves back Bobby by the end of this. Hopefully she goes back to Rusev, because that's definitely something that I've been missing when it comes to WWE and Raw and everything else like that. You know, even though I don't watch the shows, I still miss it on the pay-per-views, because they were such a good dynamic on it. Like, I recently just watched the Tank entrance from WrestleMania 31, and Rusev made that entrance, but I believe Lana right by his side also helped with that. And I just hope, if not by the end of 2020, by the beginning of 2021, when everything, again, hopefully goes back to normal, that Lana and Rusev are together, or if Rusev leaves. I hope he doesn't, but, you know, not really done much with them in a while. So yeah, Aleister's my pick to win, and hopefully Lana leaves Bobby by the end of the match. And by end of Mania, Lana will hopefully be returning to Rusev in the very soon future. Alright, another kind of thrown together, not really. They've been building this one up a little bit, but not too much. If you didn't really pay attention, you wouldn't have noticed. With the Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I guess a little bit of story with this one, because Kabuki Warriors did take the titles off of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. But then again, that did happen like 8 months, feels like 8 months ago. I believe about 8 months ago, yeah, because it was, I believe, in September at Clash of Champions. I don't think there was a rematch, or was it at Hell in a Cell? I believe Hell in a Cell. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yeah, so with this one, I believe it should be a shoo-in that Kabuki Warriors are going to win this. The only way I don't see them winning is if something happens between Asuka and Kairi, because I believe they do better on their own. I do like them as a tag team, but I'd like them too much as single stars. I mean, you can make Kairi back into a good face, because as a heel, she's just, too adorable, honestly, to be kind of scared of. I mean, Asuka, she's the ass kicker. She's, the person that most men my size should be afraid of, just because she can kick her ass just by freaking looking at her and some of that gear and paint she gets on. But yeah, I'm definitely going to say Kabuki Warriors are going to win. I don't see Alexa or Nikki picking up the titles, unfortunately. I'm still surprised they're even a team. I mean, they're pretty good when they had a lot of matches and they were showing up a lot with those titles, but ever since then, there hasn't really been much to it. So yeah, my pick's going to be the Kabuki Warriors on that one. Then next, we got a match that possibly won't even happen, apparently. So get into the dirt sheets a little bit if you guys don't know. Supposedly, Miz did show up sick for the Mania tapings. If you guys didn't know, the whole WrestleMania is pre-recorded. It was done last week, supposedly. And I guess Miz did show up, and he was sick. He was not cleared to wrestle or even enter the building, from what we have been told by Wrestling Dirt Sheets. So if this match even happens, who knows? But let's talk about it. Yeah, Miz and Morrison, SmackDown Tag Team Champions, versus the New Day versus the Usos in a freaking ladder match. And why, oh why, does Miz have to be sick if that is true? Because, my God, this match would have been insane. I have been wanting a New Day Usos ladder match ever since their Hell in a Cell match almost 3 years ago. I was there at the Hell in a Cell match in Detroit, and even though I was in the nosebleeds, my God, you could feel the energy from that match. You could see the passion that these guys have in this rivalry. But yeah, I guess throwing Miz and Morrison in it, it's not that bad. But another thing they could do, again, is that when in the future they could always do New Day Usos again. Hopefully, I don't think they'll do another ladder match though if this does go off. But definitely something good to see either way. So with this one, I believe the Usos will win. Honestly, because I don't like Miz and Morrison, honestly, as champions. I was hoping they'd lose at Elimination Chamber to the Usos. So hopefully at Mania, Usos do pick it up. If that is the match, this is the match that does happen. I have heard, there has been word saying that the match instead is going to be one of the Usos and versus Morrison in the ladder match. But I do hope one of the New Day members get into it as well. I guess they're doing essentially a triple threat singles triple threat match for the tag titles, which kind of doesn't make sense because it's tag team, not singles belts. But I guess we'll see. Either way, I believe Usos are going to win. They're going to be walking out of WrestleMania as the tag team champions either way, and then down the line, hopefully they do start up that feud again with the New Day and get a nice build to it, because even their promo packages they had a couple years ago was just so amazing. I love watching them still to this day. So yeah, that's who I'm going to believe is going to win, is the Usos. Those are my pick. Let's see here. Alright. And again, another thrown together match. So it's going to be the Street Profits, Raw Tag Team Champions, versus Austin Theory and Angel Garza. With this one, it was originally supposed to be Andrade and Angel Garza. I guess Andrade is injured, so they randomly put Austin Theory in from NXT. Now, like I've said, I haven't been paying attention to the shows. I've just been watching the main clips, only because I don't have cable and haven't really had time to watch NXT. I'm definitely going to be checking out the NXT shows for the next couple weeks, though, because that's their takeovers. But I haven't seen much of Austin Theory. I've only seen what other people have said and some clips, but not really a lot. So with this one, it's definitely a no-brainer. Street Profits are winning. They just got the belts. They're just putting this match in for padding. And, I mean, it's good that the Raw Tag Team titles are definitely going to be on WrestleMania, though. I mean, that's something. It's Street Profits' first Mania. In front of no crowd, unfortunately. But still, there's always next year. These guys are very young, very long-standing careers. All four of these guys. Pretty sure I'm older than Austin Theory, which is crazy to think. And I'm only 25. Pretty sure I'm older than Montez Ford as well, but I'm not too sure on that one. But with this one, I guess I'm excited. All these guys are very, very good athletes. It's ridiculous some of the stuff Montez Ford especially can do. Angel Garza, from the stuff I've seen from him, is pretty ridiculous, especially his matches with Leo Rush. Angelo Dawkins, he's just a powerhouse of a guy. I would be afraid to face up against him on a line in football. So that's for sure. I would rather be on his side than against him. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, with this one, I'm definitely going to be putting my money on the Street Profits because it's a no-brainer. They just got the titles, and this is a nothing tag team. Once Andrade comes back, Austin Theory might hang around, but I doubt it. I feel like the guy might have some development still to do, especially after that clip I've seen of him and Montez Ford from Raw. I really hope that was supposed to happen, but I really doubt it because I've only ever seen people drop to the floor like that and there was nobody around. But with Austin Theory right there, I'm pretty sure that wasn't supposed to happen. But yeah, Street Profits are definitely my pick. No brainer. And this one right here is going to be very, very good. A lot of people are saying it's going to be match of the night. As far as wrestling and technicality goes, I definitely see it as one of the top matches of the night with this one. So we got Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship. With this one, I gotta say Sami Zayn. Again, he just got that belt from Braun. He's been doing a pretty okay job as a manager. Dude's definitely amazing on the mic. He's definitely got that cockiness. He's got that ego. He's got that zaniness about him that definitely kind of keeps your eyes glued to him, but at the same time makes you hate him in a good way, to where you know he's doing what he can to get heel heat on you, to get heel heat on himself, I should say. And yeah, he's definitely a hard worker. Any match I've seen, one of my favorite matches still to this day is him versus Shinsuke. Both of those guys' best matches I've ever seen. But his and Kevin Owens has also been top contenders. I just feel like they never really let them go as like they should. But with this one, hopefully they give him some time on it. I mean, you got 2 nights and 2 nights to fill, so why not? Just put him in there, 20-25 minutes, and let Sami Zayn get that big win he's been needing for the past. He's been there for about 4 years. He definitely needs this win. And I feel like it makes sense story-wise because with everything going on, I believe Daniel's going to take some time off. But again, I'm not making my picks based off of what I've heard. This is truly how I feel, is that Sami Zayn is going to win. I feel like he should win. And I feel like he needs to win. I feel like he's going to get that win. He needs to boost his profile up again, bank his career. And I feel like after this win, it's definitely going to make him, and I definitely believe by the end of 2020, Sami Zayn's going to be one of the more talked about guys in the WWE for sure. Possibly in all of wrestling, I believe. I mean, you can quote me on that in a year from now, but that's how I feel. And that's one I believe, this is my personal pick for possible match of the night, personally, is Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah. And I personally have loved what they've done with this feud. I know a lot of people have issues with it because of the rinse and repeat that they have with the tag matches, and I can understand that back when they were first starting to get old with it. But again, with everything going on right now, you can't do too much on it because they're literally doing what they can just to put stuff out there and just to keep, I guess you can't really keep the storylines fresh with doing rinse and repeat, but they're trying to keep it in your minds like, hey, just, remember this is what's going to happen. Just keep it in your mind and keep watching just to see what happens, because honestly, a lot of people didn't know what match was going to happen when this feud first started. So, because they've done a lot of, not really twists, but they've done a lot of different things with Seth and Buddy picking up the tag titles. Then they had the whole AOP thing when they came in with them, which I'm definitely a fan of. I'm definitely glad to see AOP finally in the spotlight of something. And Buddy Murphy. I really wish Buddy Murphy was on this card tonight. But again, like I've said multiple times throughout this video so far, with everything going on, it's not a surprise. He would probably be in a match if they could definitely afford to. If anything, he'd be in the Battle Royal, and he probably would win it. I wish he was in something more higher profile, but he's a young dude. He's got a lot of career left, and they're just trying to get past this Mania with what they can and what's best for the show to get people entertained, I believe. But yeah, my pick on this one is I personally believe it should be Kevin Owens. I personally believe Kevin Owens is going to win because he's just been on fire lately ever since he became a face again. And I personally have enjoyed all of his stuff. The dude's got a lot of charisma. He's got a big personality. Not too zany like Sami, but he's definitely got a personality to him. And he's a very relatable guy. Dude's shorter than I am, but if you didn't blink twice, sometimes you would mistake him as me probably. And it's very relatable to me as a person like that, with all the athletic stuff he can do, and just he's the type of guy that I believe I could never be, and I probably will never be. So it's something I strived for and something I look to and see. And I definitely believe he should win. He, take down the Monday Night Messiah. Seth's been doing amazing heel work as well. So I believe he definitely is going to put up a show. Seth always does. He always throws everything out there. He always kills himself for the entertainment of the crowd. He's had some of the better matches in the past few WrestleManias. Except for last year. I mean, last year he was against Brock, though. You can't really do too much with that, especially with the way they wanted to finish the match. And I was a big fan of it. I popped for it, So, and then the year before that, he had the Intercontinental title match with Finn and Miz, probably match of the night, and it was the first match on the card. And then he had the Triple H match, which a lot of people weren't a fan of, but I personally loved, So, Seth definitely kills it at Mania. I believe Kevin Owens definitely kills it at Mania. Again, he's the guy that almost killed himself, it looked like, a few years ago in that ladder match. But both these guys are definitely dudes that will strive for, if not the perfect match, the best match that they can give. And I believe that's why this is going to be match of the night for me. And Kevin Owens is definitely, in my opinion, going to go over. And my personal favorite match that's going to be happening at WrestleMania, the one I'm actually most excited for, probably not going to be match of the night, but one of the matches I'm most excited to see. Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a Boneyard match. And supposedly a Boneyard match is supposed to be a Buried Alive match, but in a cemetery. And because of everything going on, they're trying to be more, I guess we call it kind of people's tragedies that they're going through. A lot of families losing a lot of loved ones through this whole entire thing. So they don't necessarily want to call it Buried Alive match or a cemetery match or anything like that. Just Boneyard match, give it kind of that cartoony name. So definitely looking forward to this, because Undertaker's bringing back the American Badass, Big Evil, gimmick, and I'm definitely excited for that. I've been saying for years and years and years that he will bring it back eventually. If not today, next year. If not next year, the year after. And finally, after years of me saying and years of me hoping for it, we finally got it. Because AJ made the feud personal. He mentioned his wife. He broke kayfabe, and I popped when he did that. I was kind of indifferent on it, but definitely entertaining stuff. I know a lot of people are pissed. A lot of people are pissed about how they're doing with the Undertaker. How, he's still going to this day and all that stuff. But the way I see it is that you always have the past. You always have the network to look back on. You always have those feelings of the Undertaker where he was in that specific point that was your favorite. That's the way I see it. And I know a lot of people didn't like his original change to the biker. I personally love it. That's still to this day my favorite version of Undertaker. That's the Undertaker I got into wrestling on. I was very confused when he originally turned back into the Dead Man, and I wasn't that big of a fan of it. I was pretty upset that he went back to it, but I know that's his original character. I learned as I watched and got more into wrestling, and I respect the Undertaker character. He is definitely one of the biggest influences of my generation, of generation before me, all of that stuff. But I'm super, super happy he's coming back with the biker gimmick, even if it's for one night, for one match. I don't care, as long as they play a version of his music from either Limp Bizkit or from the Kid Rock one, or even the first one I think he had when he debuted as the American Badass, which I don't think was Kid Rock or Limp Bizkit. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments again. So yeah, I'm very excited for this match. Now, who is gonna win this one? Oh man, it's definitely a toss-up, because AJ, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's definitely a guy that doesn't need to prove anything else. Neither of these guys do. Taker, he's kind of lost big high-profile matches in the past few years since the streak broke, which is fine. He's definitely still that guy you can count on to come in and put over a newer guy, but it's AJ. He's been around half the time Taker has, which is still a pretty long time. And I don't know personally on who's going to win, but if I had to say for storyline and for belief in kayfabe, and if I was a fan watching this and I still didn't know how the business worked, I would say the Undertaker for sure, because that's just how it's going. I mean, AJ disrespected him, disrespected his wife, and he challenged him to this match with his cockiness, and he's going to bring the club with him and all of this, and I believe Undertaker, he's going to come out on top, and Michelle McCool probably will get involved. They're kind of doing similarities to Undertaker DDP storyline back in 2001. So, and that's when his wife Sarah at the time got involved in the match because of similar things. But DDP was more of a stalker. AJ's more of a Twitter person, I guess, out in person, and he can actually get punched in the face by Undertaker. So, yeah, Undertaker definitely for the win. Probably stuff from Michelle McCool. She'll probably take out Gallows and Anderson just to give a big pop and throw everything at the wall with this Mania. Why not? By the end of this pandemic, people aren't really going to care too much about what happened at WrestleMania 36, unless you get like the fans who aren't happy about anything, unfortunately. But I mean, can't please everybody. I'll definitely say WWE, I'm probably going to be pleased by anything that happens on this Mania show, just because it's happening and because of what people are going through right now with the stress and people losing family members. It's the saddest thing to hear. Anybody losing family members is a sad thing to hear, but the fact of that something this world spread and widespread is happening is super sad. And unfortunately, it's just not. It seems like it's getting worse day by day. And unfortunately, a lot of that has to do with some people not staying home, not considering other people when they make these decisions. And I understand. I personally work at a Walmart, and I understand that you have to get your stuff and go. But when I see people coming in there pretending as if nothing's happening and not taking other people into consideration, it's just a sad thing to see, and I have to bite my tongue because of my job. So yeah, I definitely understand what what people are kind of going through. I see it. I don't understand what it's like to lose your family members to this, but I can only imagine it's something that's really truly heartbreaking to have. And if anybody is watching this video or listening to this, if you have lost a loved one to this, or even any loved one, honestly, I truly do say sorry for your loss. All this is going to be better. Just sit down and watch Mania. Take your mind off. For one weekend, just don't think about the outside world. Don't think about all the pain that's happening in this world and all the craziness and all these people just being horrible human beings to each other. Just for that one weekend of being quarantined. Hopefully you are. If not, and you got a job to do, I understand how that feels. I truly do. It's definitely mind straining to everybody. But in that time that you can, and you're watching the show, just sit down, turn your brain off, and just watch. No one can hurt you while you're watching the show, and just sit down, relaxing, hopefully with your family. I'm personally going to take a chance and watch it with friends. I know that kind of contradicts what I say, but right now, family and friends are what we need the most to keep our spirits up. As long as you're doing it in a safe environment, and as long as you're making sure you're not taking huge risks, make sure you're not any type of sick, no phlegm, anything like that. Just be careful, okay? Make sure you take precautions, like I'm going to, like people I'm watching are going to. Make sure you do. But at the same time, enjoy yourself. Pretend none of this is happening for the 8 hours total this show is going to be on. Just for yourself and for anybody that's worrying, just do that, and everything is going to be okay. We're all going to pull through this together. But anyway, back to wrestling. So next, I do know that Dana Brooke is not on this match anymore. Unfortunately, she is quarantined. She did recently get taken out. So with this, it's going to be Lacey Evans, Tamina, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley in a 5-way elimination match. With this one, it's pretty cut and dry on who the main focus of this match is going to be. It's going to be down to Bayley and Sasha Banks at the end. I've heard some people say they want Naomi, Nia Jax to return. Hopefully take out Tamina and start something there because of their tag team that they did have last year before Nia was injured and taken out. But if we're just going by what we're seeing right here with minus Dana Brooke, obviously, it's the only picture I can find. I don't have an updated one. If we're just going by the 5 women in the match, I'm going to definitely have to say Bayley. I believe Bayley's going to squeak out another win. Her character is decent. I mean, I kind of get what they're going for, but I personally liked what they did with her and Sasha. What was it? 2 years ago almost? I believe it was in 2018 with Bayley and Sasha, where Bayley essentially called Sasha a piece of shit. And that was something that was entertaining to see, and I'm so mad they didn't keep going with it. They pulled the throttle back and they waited, and a lot of stuff happened in between them. But now is the perfect time to do it. Now, how you do it, that's not something I'm 100% sure on, because I feel like it's too early to turn Bayley back into a face. But then again, she would be the better face in this feud than Sasha. Sasha is always better as a heel since her NXT days. Anytime she's been a face, it's not really worked out. I mean, her matches with Charlotte when she first turned face, they were good. They were some of the best women's matches you can watch. If you haven't seen them, do yourself a favor in this quarantine and go back and watch those. Even the Raw match, I believe it was a I Quit match when Sasha picked up the belt for the second time, I believe. It was either first or second time. That match is amazing. Their Hell in a Cell match, yes, a lot of people have issues with this, I know. But still, you can tell they put a lot of work in, they put a lot of heart into that match, and they wanted it to go off good. They also had an Iron Woman match, I believe, at Roadblock. That was a good match as well. Still, Bayley and Sasha's match obviously was better, and that's why a lot of people are excited for this. They wish it was just the two, but at the same time, I believe you got to do more story between this before you can get that crescendo between the two and really get this feud popping off. And I believe that will happen at SummerSlam. Hopefully, just think SummerSlam is happening. Just get yourself positive through it. So, yeah, I do believe that Bayley is gonna squeak out a win. She's gonna get that quick win over Sasha, or even help make sure Sasha gets eliminated and then be whoever's left with her. So that's my prediction on it, and that's what I'm hoping to see happen in the possible future. And now this match I'm for sure excited for. This is going to be probably my favorite women's match of the whole night, mainly because Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. And yeah, mainly because of Rhea Ripley. She has been my favorite women's wrestler ever since she's come back onto the scene in NXT UK. Her look, her attitude, everything that she has been the type of thing I've been looking for in superstar, male or female, just because that is like the type of person I could see myself being in a group with, being best friends with, being anything with. Like, that's just the type of person I see in the female version of me, essentially, like the type of personality I have, and it's amazing. I just gravitate so much to her because, yeah, she's a very beautiful woman, but that's not what I'm talking about. Only because of her personality, her look, everything like that. It's just been a personal big up for me, only because I feel like ever since possibly the Ruthless Aggression era, they have not done a lot of stuff when it comes to the heavy metal, the rock, I guess punk as well. I guess you count CM Punk, obviously. And they haven't done a lot with that type of character in a while. And to see her character the way it is, that's just like the perfect thing of what I feel like the WWE needed. And obviously, look, even though a lot of people aren't a big fan of the type of music she comes out to, big type of thing she represents, people still love her because of her attitude, because of her personality. She has been the hottest thing in NXT, at least women's division, since Asuka, and it's amazing, and I'm so happy to see that. And yes, I do believe Rhea is obviously going to beat Charlotte, because Charlotte, she's the top dog of the women's division. She doesn't need the NXT women's title. She really doesn't. And I don't believe she's going to do NXT that much, honestly. If she does win the title, she does become an NXT roster member, she's not really going to give it much, I don't think. Honestly, that's going to make me not really want to see much more of NXT. Because, yeah, she's a big star. She's a great wrestler. Very, very great wrestler. I've loved a lot of her matches, especially her Ronda Rousey match from last year with Becky Lynch. I've loved that match, but again, she doesn't fit NXT no more. A lot of people that go from NXT back up to WWE main roster, they don't really belong in NXT no more. There's a few characters that can go back to NXT because they have that look, they have that, sense of pure wrestling. They don't have that sense of, like, I don't know, I guess big like show. Like, if they're not in a big stadium, you don't really get it. So the way I see it is that Rhea Ripley's best for NXT. Charlotte, not really. Keep her on the main roster. Keep her doing stuff with possible legends. Her matches she had with Trish Stratus was amazing. I guess not amazing. Let me rephrase that. It was a very good match for Trish Stratus being on the ring for as long as she has. With Rhea, though, she's perfect. Keep that belt on her as long as you can. Honestly, I know a lot of people want Bianca to be the person to take it off of her, but for me personally, I still have to see some more from Bianca. A lot of people liked her match with Rhea, but I personally wasn't the hugest fan of it. I feel like it should have went on a little bit longer, but that's my own opinion. That's in the past now. Right now is the match. This is the match we're focusing on. This is the story we're focusing on, and I believe Rhea's gonna win, and Charlotte's gonna either retaliate afterwards, or she's just gonna move on to something new. I believe she's on Raw still, so she's probably gonna do something with the next match I'm about to talk about right now, with Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler for the Raw Women's title. Oh boy, with this one, it's pretty obvious on who's going to win based off of how Shayna Baszler has been booked. Shayna has been a monster, almost literally, with that neck bite she did when she first debuted. She has been a monster. She has been that thing that has thwarted Becky Lynch at every turn. And I personally like the story they're kind of going with. It seems like they've kind of backtracked a little bit on it, only because they didn't like the direction. But when they had Becky coming out being so egotistical, and she was essentially, a lot of people made a comparison of Rocky from Rocky 3, I believe, where she was coming out, she was acting like she was the best, which she was. But think about it, she hasn't really proved that in a while. You know, you go back to that promo package from WrestleMania last year with her, Ronda, and Charlotte, and my gosh, that was probably the promo package of the night. I still watch it because it's such, her promos and her delivery, and you can tell the heart and soul she put into all of her words. And yes, the music definitely helped, but you can definitely tell she went in and she earned that win. Granted, there is some issues with the finish with that, and that's fine. You know, it happened possibly for a reason, probably not, only because we haven't seen Ronda since. But with this, it's definitely a no-brainer that Shayna's going to be taking that title, and they need to reset Becky again because she's just kind of been floundering. She had an amazing match against Sasha, though, at Hell in a Cell. That was a very innovative match. Better Hell in a Cell match of that night compared to what it was up against. Not that hard of a job. But yeah, Becky, she is a very good champion. I really like Becky win. They got something really good for her to do. And this feud has proven that because her promos have been great. Shayna's been amazing with what she's been given. That Elimination Chamber match, I kind of wish it didn't go the way it did. I kind of wish Shayna was the last one. But I get what they were trying to go for. But at the same time, I wasn't the hugest fan of it. But nonetheless, Shayna's definitely going to be winning. And going back to what I was saying earlier about Charlotte and Rhea, this is why I feel like Charlotte's definitely not going to win. Because after Shayna picks up this belt, I do feel like it's going to be Charlotte going after it. Give Becky some time off, for sure. I know that her and Seth are engaged, probably want to get married eventually, I'd imagine. After this is all over, once you can actually start going outside again and having groups of people all together again. So, yeah, a lot of people are going to be taking time off, and I feel like Becky should be one of them. She earns it. She deserves it. She's been busting her ass for the past, I don't even know how long she's been. If she's been going as much as she has lately for the past 4 or 5 years, definitely give her a break off for a minute. You know, I know Charlotte just came back from one not too long ago, so definitely give Becky the time off she needs. You know, let her recover and let her come back. Hopefully against Shayna again. Hopefully at maybe, if it's not SummerSlam, maybe the Rumble, maybe even keep her off until possibly Elimination Chamber next year. Let her come back and let her challenge Shayna. You know, again, give Shayna that title again for a year. Because Shayna is such a good heel. She is such a believable ass kicker. She's such a believable fighter because she was a real fighter. She's got that believability to her, and she can hold that title for as long as she wants, and you will always believe it up until you want to strap the racket to someone and make it to where, like, hey, this person can come and this person can beat her. That's what happened with Rhea. Rhea, she became that believable person that could beat her. I knew it once that feud started and once everything was going on. I knew it. And I feel like once Becky comes back, hopefully Becky takes time off, and once she comes back, she'll become that believable person again to take that belt off of Shayna. That's how I feel like it should happen. Probably won't, but why don't you tell me, guys, on how you feel about all the stuff I'm saying, or tell me what your own opinions are on these matches that I talk about. Everyone's got their own opinions, and I want to hear yours, alright? So, yeah, Shayna for the win, definitely. And then on to the next one. Another one I'm definitely looking forward to. John Cena versus The Fiend in a Firefly Funhouse match. Now look, I personally love The Fiend. The Fiend is my most favorite character that has been in wrestling in a very long time. Rhea is my favorite female wrestler. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, is one of my all-time favorite characters ever. And ever since Bray started this Firefly Funhouse thing, I have loved every second of it, because it's that psychological thing that Bray Wyatt has made, and I'm so mad that he didn't get to do stuff like this a couple years ago. But at the same time, I can't be mad, because maybe if he did, he wouldn't have concocted the Fiend character to begin with. But ever since he debuted against Finn Balor at SummerSlam last year, my God, I have fell in love with the Fiend. Everything The Fiend is amazing. I love it. Granted, yes, I don't want to think about what happened at Crown Jewel. That doesn't fucking count. That was fucking bullshit. And I'll talk about him in a little bit. But yeah, I have loved the Fiend character. Yes, I was pissed at the Hell in a Cell, as I mentioned earlier. A lot of you guys probably understood what I was talking about with the Hell in a Cell match. Yes, I was pissed at that match. I understood what they were going for, but it still didn't change the fact that in that moment I was pissed. Unbelievably pissed. And guys, I don't get pissed that much. I like a lot of shit. Like I'm not saying shit as in stuff. I'm saying shit as in, like, people will hate it, and I'll say, wasn't that bad. I liked it. Like, you guys have no idea. Like, I'm a very hard person to displease, but that finish displeased me so much that I went home very unhappy. And my girlfriend at the time knew it, and she was very surprised at how I was acting, but she knew how much I loved the Fiend, so at the same time she was understanding. She knew that character was what I was the most hyped for, most excited for. I just could not stop thinking about it. And to see it go down the way it did, I was super pissed. But after a little bit of calming down, I understood what they were going for. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, why didn't you just restart the match when he got back up? They should have restarted the match. I still say that to this day. They should have fucking restarted the match. But anyway, with this, I'm super interested in the story. John Cena, obviously, who doesn't love John Cena in their life as a fan? Last year, I loved his appearance with the Doctor of Thugonomics. I love all the old 2003, 2004 gimmicks. I love all that old shit. That's when I started watching. And as a fan of John Cena, I stopped being a fan for a while, for a few years, because he just wasn't the type of character that was for me anymore. I wasn't a little kid anymore. I wasn't a dad with a son anymore. I wasn't a dad with a son at the time. Still not, just saying, possibly in the future, who knows. But I do respect John Cena as a performer, and I feel really bad for a lot of stuff I said about him growing up, but, you know, we all say stupid shit when we're young. You know, once you really realize and get mature eyeballs on the business, that you understand that John Cena, he did what he did for a reason, and look at him now. So, yeah, anyway, with this match, if no one knows the story of it, if you're just watching it to watch it, if you haven't seen what happened a few years ago between these two, WrestleMania 30, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. By the way, big ups on that promo package. It was definitely amazing. I hope they do good promo packages tonight. That's another thing I'll talk about in a minute with promo packages. With this, I'm definitely excited because John beat Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt should have won. Everyone knows it to this day. Bray Wyatt should have won. There was no reason for John to win. Definitely sent Bray Wyatt into that spiral, like he said on his promos for the Firefly Funhouse. Definitely sent him down a spiral of losing and just becoming a character that no one could really believe would win. They were interested in what he was saying most of the time, but never really believed he could win until he did win. Until he somewhat beat John Cena. He took the belt off John Cena in the Elimination Chamber, and he didn't. I think he pinned John Cena also, if I'm not mistaken, because he did pin John Cena, and I know he pinned AJ Styles for the win. Then he became champion, and then we had that crappy Randy Orton match at Mania, unfortunately. Then he lost the belt, of course, and ever since he's not really done much. But once he came out this Fiend character, man, it was a revitalization for Bray Wyatt as a wrestler, and he boosted up his career to memorable. Like, no one's going to forget this Fiend character. No matter what happens at Mania, no matter what happens in the future, nobody's ever going to forget this Fiend character, for sure. But again, Firefly Funhouse, from what people are saying, this is going to be obviously pre-filmed, but it's not going to be a traditional match. It's going to be something in the light of the total deletion of the broken Matt Hardy matches. It's going to be in the light of Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton's, I believe, House of Horrors match. It's going to be something pretty insane. And Bray Wyatt, obviously, he has a mind for that type of stuff. John Cena, he's been in movies a lot lately, so he's probably definitely got a mind for how editing and stuff like that works. He's a very smart dude, so he's probably going to do a lot of help with that. They do have an amazing editing team with people that have cool ideas like this. So, definitely excited for it, and it's pretty obvious on who's going to win. Hopefully, a lot of people